Well, you're back here in Nigeria, where the governor of the central bank, Yemi Cardoso, has outlined how the monetary policy actions of the financial regulator has stabilized the banking sector, the exchange rate market, and the broader economy. Now, speaking on Monday at the National Economic Council conference in Abuja, the central bank chief, however, cautions on the dangers of heavy spendings on electoral campaigns towards the 2027 general elections. Let's listen.
When they travel, you don't have to look for foreign exchange to travel. You use your Naira card and pay for whatever you want there. Now, you have a situation where a Naira is more competitive and people are not afraid to hold Naira. In those days, when you go all the way down in the West African sub-region and you give them Naira, nobody wants to touch it. That has all gone now. There's predictability, you can plan. You don't have to go and look for foreign exchange, and build up reserves in foreign exchange. You don't have to do that any longer. And those of them who are holding unnecessary foreign exchange reserves, I don't need to tell them that they are losing money every day. Our banking sector remains resilient and investor confidence is returning. CBN Roadmap 2026 to 2030. Plan for leveraging macroeconomic stability for enhancing productivity and growth. Macroeconomic stability remains the most effective enabler in investment and increase in outputs across agric, manufacturing, and service value chains. Goes without saying that without stability, there will be no growth. So I believe if there's something positive that has come out of this is the fact that we now have stability. The CBN roadmap includes anchoring disinflation, FX market normalization, and financial system resilience. And what this means in common language is that we will stay the course and continue doing the things we have done. I'm conscious of time, so I will race through the rest of this presentation. Roadmap for enabling growth and development. Number one, price stability through transition to inflation targeting. Number two, strengthening external reserves, safeguarding the value of the Naira. We will do whatever it is to ensure that we safeguard the value of the Naira. Banking sector recapitalization. Ongoing recapitalization will support the financing of the $1 trillion economy. Danger ahead, the risk we must manage. And I thought this is a very important slide. Liquidity overhang. There's a lot of liquidity that still remains within the system, and we've got to manage this very, very carefully. So we are not out of the woods yet. The election cycle, typically election cycle, a lot of money gets pumped into the system. This has to be watched to ensure that it does not destabilize and challenge the very, very bold reforms which have brought about stability to the economy. The global trade tensions, I won't say too much about this because I know everybody in this room follows what has been happening in the recent past with global trade tensions. The limits of monetary policy. I will say here that monetary policy is a necessary but insufficient tool. It can take us to where we have gotten to now, but it is no substitute for the fundamentals. No central bank can sustainably deliver low and stable inflation alone, where structural drivers such as food supply shocks, high energy and logistics costs, and infrastructural deficits are large contributors to price pressures. Liquidity management has boundaries. Transmission is imperfect where credit markets are thin and informality is high. That is why sustained gains require fiscal discipline, supply-side reforms, and institutional coordination. Monetary stability requires fiscal discipline, fiscal sustainability, and requires monetary credibility. Policy coherence is a stability anchor. CBN will sustain a disciplined interest rate path. Fiscal authorities We support fiscal policies that promote robust revenue mobilization, efficiency in public expenditure, debt sustainability, and modernization of public financial management. Now, we can't make a presentation like this without talking about the critical role for subnational tier of government. Subnational governance can significantly impact macroeconomic stability, significantly. Control of about 50% of FAC revenue can determine macroeconomic outcomes, price and exchange rate stability, liquidity management, poverty levels, etc. Subnationals control significant share of national resources. Revenue capacity has expanded post-reforms, and subnationals drive inflation and supply-side outcomes. I will share this presentation after, because this is a very important slide, that the role of the subnationals in ensuring that the stability we have achieved continues is incredibly critical. It's incredibly critical, especially considering the fact that the states now have a lot more revenue at their disposal. Our strategic partnership, subnational tiers directly shape macroeconomic outcomes such as deficits, public investment, inflation, and drive economic growth. State governments can align with the economic stability agenda by prioritizing infrastructure and public expenditure that reduces structural drivers of inflation, enable human capacity development and support economic growth, and sustainable subnational debt management, and third, partnering with the financial system to promote financial inclusion, enhance access to credit, and stimulate economic activity. Our priorities for 2026 to 2023, strengthening monetary policy, 2026 to 2030, strengthening monetary policy effectiveness through orthodox approach. In other words, we will continue doing the things we have done. Safeguarding financial stability and deepening domestic financial markets, financial inclusion as a growth strategy, and enhancing external sector stability and international competitiveness. What do we expect success to look like by 2030? Single-digit inflation, growing foreign exchange reserves powered by non-oil exports, FDI, and remittances. Remittances, very important, please. Remittances has made a big difference to how we have grown our reserves. The diasporans, and the diasporans come from every single state that is represented here. All of them living outside and looking to remit money back to Nigeria. We've engaged with them. We have ensured that it is now easier for them to remit money back to Nigeria. And honestly, the support of all the excellencies here will be very, very helpful in the years ahead.